so much yellow! Hello everybody, TK Gilton here, and don't worry, I love this figure. That was just a fun little intro I decided to go with. So, hello everybody, TK Gilton here, and welcome to the review of Legacy Dragstrip, the second Legacy review, and I am very much looking forward to this because I really like this guy. This is the kickoff for the new Legacy I almost said Constructicons, Legacy Stunticons. It is hot as fucking here, I need to get my fan, I'm sorry. And he kicks off the set in spectacular fashion, and from what we've seen, Wild Rider looks a little bit hit and miss, but Motormaster, I genuinely don't think there's a single thing I can say negative about Motormaster. I cannot wait to get that thing in my hand. Just like last year, by far my most anticipated figure of this year is definitely the Motormaster, the Commander class figure of this year, man. I just cannot wait to get that guy. And here is the first Stunticon we have received from Hasbro, and in my opinion, they absolutely knocked it out of the park. Very few little issues with this figure that I will go over, but overall this is another absolutely incredible figure from Legacy, and probably one of the best of the deluxe classes. All of them are really fucking good, but I would say he's definitely towards the top of the list. He is a really effing good deluxe class. So let's get into the review. First thing I want to say about Dragstrip is that I do have a QC issue on mine. The visor on mine was left unpainted. This is definitely a tragedy. I wish I didn't have to get this QC issue, but I rarely ever get QC issues, so I'm not gonna be too angry about it. If this is the only QC issue I've gotten in the last month and a half, honestly, could have been so much worse. This guy's just gonna be an arm for Menasor as soon as I get Menasor anyway, so I really don't think it matters all that much, so I'm not gonna split hairs over it. Do know that yours will probably have an orange painted visor, assuming that you don't get one with the same issue as mine. Getting into the features on him, I will say straight up, I don't really care for these things up here. I know people are kind of, there's two kinds of people. There's people who are hating on these, and then there's people that are hating on the people for hating on these. But I realize that maybe it's a bit petty, but I just really don't understand why we couldn't have just had them fold down to the back. I mean, we have a completely flush back here. Why couldn't these just fold down to the back to make it look as animation accurate as possible? And hey, those people who do like it, they can just have it go up there. And I don't think it would have been too difficult. We could have just had these bits right here on like a little piece that hinges to the back. Wouldn't have been all that hard. Just, definitely a tragedy there. Honestly, pretty much my only issue though. This cable on the arm doesn't really bug me all that much. I think it looks pretty good. I like the way the wheels look where you have like the two right there, just like in the G1 cartoon. Really awesome. His chest does faux form. I don't really give a shit about faux forming. You guys know this. I don't understand why people get so bent out of shape about faux forming. It really does not bug me that much, but his chest does faux form, so if that is a thing that you care about, it does do that. But once again, really don't know why people get so up in arms about that. It really does not bug me at all. I really don't even notice it half the time. 90% of the time when I get a Transformer that faux forms, I don't even fucking acknowledge the fact that it faux forms because I just don't give a shit. So yeah, maybe you do though, so I wanted to point it out. But you have that paint details. You have some silver right there for the torso. The head is very nicely painted with a lot of orange. One issue I can give this guy though, he doesn't have the absolute best time standing up. You can see his feet have no heels, and he does stand up decently well, but it doesn't take much for him to fall over. You can see because of the way his feet work, he doesn't have the most stable standing up as a lot of other figures, and definitely all of the other deluxes. In Legacy Wave 1, he definitely stands up the worst. This is a minor issue though, because it doesn't take much to keep it up. And like, just to acknowledge this real quick, because I never got a chance to acknowledge this, a lot of people hated on Kingdom Cheetor because his feet were so bad and he was so difficult to stand up, but in my opinion, I genuinely have no idea what those people were talking about. I've never had any issue with having him stand up. I am holding this on one hand, do keep that in mind, but I never had any issue with this guy standing up. I think Dragstrip stands up a lot worse than this guy, and I know this doesn't look very good for my case right now, but trust me, I really have never had that big of a difficulty standing this guy up, especially because like he's on a pose right now. So if you put him in like a standard pose, a lot of people said that his feet just didn't do a good job of keeping him stood up. Let me see if I can show this now. Yeah, see, I have no issue with standing up Kingdom Cheetor. Let's compare to Dragstrip. Try and get his feet flat. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if we can. So yeah, he does it. It's not an issue that you really need to be all that insanely like astute about, but it is an issue nonetheless because he doesn't have heels. So I just wanted to make sure that that was clear. Tolerances on him are pretty good in my opinion. You have pretty good tolerances here. Not absolutely perfect, I will say. The legs are a little bit loose. You can see this leg right here is a little bit loose. This is not a huge deal. I do want to point out tolerances though, and that is definitely one thing. Also, I gotta say, I think at least on my copy, the feet are a little wonky on mine. You can see one sits a tad bit higher than the other. This is really not that huge a deal. I noticed it a lot more in vehicle mode than robot mode. In robot mode, it's actually something I do want to point out, and I do actually think is kind of a flaw of the figure, but overall, it's not a big deal in robot mode. It's really only a problem in vehicle mode, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. I think that's pretty much everything to go over here with the robot mode. I'll give you some comparisons. Alrighty, let's move him back so we have plenty of space. Let's put him about here so we can bring in our other Legacy Deluxes so far. We can get a full group shot of all 4 of our glorious Deluxes. I will go ahead and give a quick little teaser for the rest of these guys' reviews I have not reviewed yet. I love all 4 of these figures. I think they are absolutely amazing Deluxe classes, and I'm really looking forward to giving you guys my full reviews on all of them. But here you have the group shot, all 4 of our Legacy Deluxes so far. They look fantastic together. We pretty much have like a consistent size going on here between the G1 boys, and then Primarch, she's kind of doing her own thing, so she's a little bit smaller, but still almost about the same size as well. And here's a few WFC Trilogy Deluxes to show that he scales perfectly with your WFC Trilogy Deluxes. You can fit him right in with your current generations collections. Here he is with the Earthrise Seeker Mold and Kingdom Cyclonus. And finally with WFC Megatron. Oh, and here he is with Core Class Iguanus, just to show his comparison with a Core Class, so there you go. As you can see, he scales perfectly with all of your WFC Trilogy Transformers, all of your Decepticons. He'll fit right into that display, along with Kickback, who we will be reviewing very shortly. I really like this guy, man. I think he's a ton of fun. Now, getting into the accessories, you only get 2 accessories with them, but they are pretty sweet in my opinion. You get 2 of these scoped pistols, and I think these look absolutely awesome. I really like these. They are unfortunately not Blast Effect compatible, but you can plug them in to his iron right there, and of course you get 2 so he can dual wield like he is playing Halo 3 back when Halo was actually good. So there you go. You have that. Those scope pistols are really cool, and if you want to, you could also have you could have him just holding 1 pistol, or you could also hold it and you can store it on the back right there. And if you want to store both on the back, you do have plenty of options to do that. I would recommend just kind of taking it and plugging it in back there, so you have both of them stored. Or another thing you could do, you could make use of these other ports up here closer to the top, and you could store them like this. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a place to tab them on the legs right there. That would have been so much cool to have them in there like a freaking cowboy, like a drop leg holster. That would have been really cool. Not a complaint, I'm just pointing it out. But you could also store them back here on the feet as well if you wanted to, so that might actually be another thing you could do as well. Basically, you have plenty of storage options for the pistols if you want to store them. But me personally, what I like to do is I like to have 1 in his hand, and then I like to put 1 back here on the back. So that's personally what I like to do with him, but you can do whatever you want with him. So there you have your accessories. That's pretty much everything to go over with the robot mode. Let's get into the transformation, and this is one fun and addicting transformation right here. Alright, Transformers guy is super easy and super fun. First, we're going to plug his legs together, make sure the feet and the legs are both plugged together. We're going to rotate this piece of cable down, bring this piece down. You can see you have a large little bit right there that this piece kind of goes into right there. You're going to do the same thing on this side, so rotate that down. Do that like that. You're going to flip these out to the side here. You're going to take the head. You're going to bring this entire piece down. Then you want to pull this out on this. I would recommend not grabbing it down here to break off that tab. I'm not saying it will do that. I'm saying that maybe just try to avoid it, just to, in case that is something that actually ends up being an issue on this guy somewhere down the line. So you're going to take that. You're going to take the head, flip it in just like that. Then you're going to take these pieces, hinge them up just like this. You want to take these, kind of flip them out so they can, there's a little lip right here. So you want to bring this in. You want to bring it up so you can just bring it back down just like that and get it tabbed in place just like that. Tab it up together up there. Then you want to rotate this piece around, and then you want to bring it down. You have 2 little slots right there that are going to tab into 2 tabs on the side there. Rotate the legs around, come down here, and open these pieces up just like that. Then you want to hinge this in, get these pieces tabbed in just like that, and then you want to fold these down. They're going to lock all that in place, bring the spoiler up, and there you have Dragstrip in his absolutely glorious vehicle mode, because this thing is so cool. This genuinely might be one of my favorite vehicle modes of all time. Look at this magnificent beast. I love this vehicle mode. This thing is like surprisingly huge when you get it in hand. It looks like normal size on camera, but when you get this thing in hand, it is a big freaking boy, and I'll show that off when you get to comparisons. This guy is big, and he is so cool. Now, one minor issue I will say with this vehicle mode, all pegged on wheels with the mushroom peg coming through. Now, on these ones up here, they're yellow out of the package, but I popped them off and colored those with a black Sharpie. Really easy to do. You just take it, you just come to the wheel, you just pop it right off of the joint. Try and be a little careful though, and then you can color those with a black Sharpie and then just plug it back on, and in my opinion, it does make it look a ton better. This one is black out of the packaging, so you don't have to do with that one, but these up here, it definitely makes it look a lot better back there. Still, you can kind of see the mushroom peg peeking through, so I wish it was just a full-on, I wish it did actually have like the hubcap on there, it didn't show the mushroom peg, but honestly, that's pretty much the only issue I really have in vehicle mode. One other minor thing I can say is that the spoiler does not sit flush. It doesn't sit, it just barely doesn't sit flush. You can see the way it sits. This side is just lower than this side a little bit. It should have sat like that. It should have been symmetrical. Unfortunately, as soon as you let it go, it just goes back to its default position. This could be your mileage may vary thing. It might only be on my copy of the figure, but it is on my copy, so I did want to mention it. And it is something that I do honestly think is a little annoying. I would much rather prefer if this actually sat properly. Would have made me like this vehicle mode that much more. I will also say that these pieces right here don't do an amazing job tabbing in. They tab in fine. It'll stay in place as you mess around with the figure, but it would have been nicer if this could have just been a little bit of a tighter connection, because they do pop out very easily. I'm talking about these tabs right here where the legs hook onto the torso right there. These tabs just don't really hold in place all that well. Once again, this is a minor complaint. I just wanted to point it out to you. So there you go. They have the vehicle mode. I think it's absolutely awesome. Here's some comparisons. And for comparison, first off, to show with a basic car transformer, there he is with Trax. You can see he's a good, like I said, he is a big car. You can see compared to Trax, he's actually a good bit longer than Trax there. So there you have that. Here he is with Core Class Hot Rod to show how he scales with a Core Class. Here he is with his Wave Mate G1 Decepticon Kickback, who I will spoil is one of my favorite figures of the entire wave. So there you have that. And look how big this guy is in his all mode as well. Super, super cool. And then one more comparison just to really show you guys how big this guy is in vehicle mode. Here he is with the Laser Optimus Prime, which is a leader class figure. And yeah, he basically takes up like most of the cab here, even taking away the trailer. He is honestly a really, really good sized deluxe class vehicle mode. The second I got this guy transformed the first time, the only thing I could think of is, my god, he's absolutely massive in vehicle mode. So yeah, there you have your comparisons. If you want to, like any Transformer, you can plug the weapons onto the gun. You can plug the weapons onto the vehicle mode for vehicle mode storage, but I don't even call this storage anymore because it's just absolutely ridiculous. Although honestly, Dragstrip and Wild Rider, they actually don't look as bad as it does on a lot of other figures. Like especially with like the Earthrise Datsun mold, you just plug the gun on the top of the fucking car. It looks absolutely ridiculous. This doesn't look too bad actually. You have symmetrical on both sides, and honestly, it doesn't look horrible. So you can do this. I also want to show real quick that if you have any Marvel Legends, if you have any Marvel Legends blast effect, not the Transform blast effects, those you can kind of fit those on the gun. So if you have any of those do kind of work a little bit. The actual effect parts though, like if I show you right here, I'll grab one, let me see here, let's grab one of these. You can see that these, you can kind of force them on there, so I guess technically they are compatible, but it's going to stretch them out a little bit more, and at that point you might not be able to use them with any of the ones that have like the little nubbin that you have to attach it to. Like we'll grab him, see how this conforms now. Yeah, see, you can see from me doing that, from me stretching it out like that, it doesn't want to sit properly on Jazz anymore. Now, I only did it for a second, so I'm sure after a few seconds this will be completely fine, but if you leave it on there for a long period of time, those might stretch it out to a point where you might not be able to use them with the other figures, so do be wary of that. But yeah, there you have that. I think that's pretty much everything to talk about this. Let's get into the final thoughts. The final thoughts on Legacy Dragstrip. In my opinion, this guy is a phenomenal start to the new Legacy Stunticons. I think he's really, really, really fun. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the rest of them come out. I really cannot wait to get Metasaur, man. He is easily my most anticipated figure of the year, and I really like this guy. I think he's a lot of fun. A very solid figure for someone who's, for a figure that 90% of the people are just going to stick on the arm of their Metasaur and then never touch him ever again. I think they did a really great job on this guy. His transformation is a ton of fun. His vehicle mode is awesome. I love the vehicle mode. Maybe my favorite part of the figure, honestly. Robot mode is solid enough. I will say one issue I forgot to mention with this guy, a little bit of a wobbly torso, and that is because of the combining gimmick. I mean, it's no secret. I guess I can show it right here. I'll just grab a little knife right here. Basically, what you do is you just stick something into this little slot in the back there, that little slot right there in the back, and that allows you to separate the figure into, and this is what's going to happen when you get Metasaur. You put him in vehicle mode, you stick him on there, it will hit hit that button and it will separate him in half. Or I mean, you could use this to actually, like, I don't know, do some kind of battle thing if you want to, like a battlefield thing. You could like have, like, if you do like stop motions, you could maybe have like Rodimus take his sword and like slice him in half and then just that could be kind of cool. Have some Energon effects come out. That could be actually kind of cool. I'd actually like to see maybe a stop motion animator actually make use of that. And it does lock in solidly, so no issue there. But it does have a bit of a wobble because of that. But yeah, I honestly didn't even think about that. That would be really cool. Any stop motion animators out there, maybe try that out and show me and upload it to YouTube and then give me a link in the description so I can see it checked out, because I think that could be a really cool way to use this guy and the other armbot as well, who I can't remember off the top of my head. It's not, no, Breakdown's the other leg, so I guess it'd be Wild Rider then? No, what's his name? Dead End, I guess is Dead End the other arm, I guess? I think it'd be Dead End. So yeah, maybe when Dead End comes out, he'll have the same thing, so he'll be able to do that as well. But yeah, in general, I love this guy. I think he's another fantastic figure in the Legacy line. Really did a great job in getting me really excited for Menasor, especially we didn't even see him. When I got this guy, I didn't even see Menasor yet. Oh wait, no. Yes, I did. I absolutely did. That was a lie. So yeah, I love this guy. I'm just rambling on. I'm just basically repeating myself at this point. I think this guy is awesome. If you haven't picked him up already, highly recommend doing so, and definitely go in on these Stunticons, because I think these are going to be one of the best combiner teams of all time. People are going to say what they want about the Menasor and how he works, how he has like the cartoon accurate thing where he just has cars slapped on him, and I mean, I can understand people not being a fan of that, but I personally am a big fan of it, and I think that figure is going to be absolutely spectacular, and I absolutely love the fact that he is no bigger than Jetfire. That is so perfect, because Jetfire is up on my Autobot shelf, and my Autobot shelf is my favorite shelf by far, because I just think it looks so fucking sick. You have just all of these different sized figures, and I just think it looks so awesome, although Jazz is missing. Let me put Jazz back up there. There we go. The Autobot shelf is just absolutely perfect on my display, in my opinion, and I can't wait to get that freaking Menasor so I can have the same thing I have with Jetfire on my Decepticon shelf. Somewhere in the back there, just have that massive hulking figure, man. It's gonna be fucking awesome. So there you have it. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, maybe give it a like, subscribe for more Transformer reviews in the future. I also review anime figures as well, so if you're interested in that, maybe also give me a sub and a like down below. And with that being said, this is TK Guillotine, signing out.